Yeah, that's,
So you went straight up, you didn't go down.
Color guard attention. Audience, please rise. Scout salute. Color guard advance. Color guard halt. Color guard prepare to post the colors. Color guard post the colors. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard about face. Color guard reform. Color guard advance. Color guard halt. Color guard dismissed. Audience, please be seated.
Scouts, Scouters, and friends of Scouting, I would like to welcome you to this Eagle Court of Honor. My name is Ian Krause, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. This is an occasion for pride and joy, as well as a time for serious reflection. The Eagle is the highest recognition that Scouting offers to Scouts. It has earned the advancement program, and only a small percentage of boys that begin in Scouting receive this honor. The wearer of the Eagle Reward is the epitome of Scouting's best efforts and beliefs. This afternoon, we have the pleasure of seeing Scout Drew Halvorsen reach the peak of his Scouting efforts when he joins the company of Eagle Scouts. Before we begin, I would like to ask Pastor Chris Van Houten, Eagle Scout of Woodlands Church of Atascocita, to deliver the invocation.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. Really just a moment that I remember so well myself, to be an Eagle Scout and to know the honor and the work and the effort put into this moment. Drew, thank you for inviting me, and thank you, John, Tracy, just what you guys have invested in Drew over the years and bringing this moment to completion. If you will, bow your heads and pray with me. God, thank you. Thank you for Drew. Thank you for the young man that he is. Thank you for the leader that you have made him to be. Thank you for the love that you have invested in him and the grace he's not only been able to receive, but to show to others. And the way that he leads, God, continue to allow him to use the wisdom and guidance that you give him to continue to make an impact on those around him, to lead with not only boldness and courage, but to truly represent you in his love and grace. God, we give you this day. Be present with us now. More than anything, continue to fill us up with more of you. We give you this time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Presentation of the Eagle Scout Award is an important and serious matter. The attainment of this award is made possible through the assistance of those with the candidate tonight, as Scoutmasters, troop leaders, fellow Scouts, parents, family, friends, and members of the community. Drew has distinguished himself through his continued performance in the active service of Scouting. He is trained and practiced in leadership abilities. He is marked by the character gained through an understanding of both citizenship and religious beliefs. It is important that each of us understands the meaning of the Eagle Badge, that which you see before me.
The appeal of the majestic eagle has been felt
by every great people from prehistoric times to the present day. To the Egyptians, the eagle was the messenger of the gods and the sun, a symbol of eternal life. To the Romans, he was the carrier of Jupiter's thunderbolts and a sign of power. To American Indians, he stood as incentive to valor and pledge of victory. For us today, the eagle is a living symbol of all courageous and freedom-aspiring Americans. When the Eagle Scout badge was designed in 1912, it was decided that a small silver eagle would be suspended from a tricolor ribbon of red, white, and blue, so it remains today.
The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a scout is trustworthy. It is the very first point of the Scout Law, for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to him, but because of the vital significance of the example he sets for other scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle badge remind you to always live with honor.
The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop and brother Scouts makes him pitch in and carry his share of the load. All of these help to build the loyalty, which means devotion to community, to country, to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the blue of the Eagle badge always inspire your loyalty.
The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for the right. Trusting in God with faith in his fellow man, he looks forward to each day seeking his share of the world's work to do. Let the red of the Eagle badge remind you always of courage. The fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. To remind the Eagle Scout always to wear a smile. The red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second-class Scout Order, which has its ends turned up in a smile.
The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil up scouting's trail, just as others helped him to end his climb to Eagle. The performance of a daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters a more adult life of continuing service to others. The Eagle stands as a protector of the weak and helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. He always will be prepared to put forth his best. Drew, you are deserving of much credit in having achieved scouting's highest award. However, we are awarded with humility, ever mindful that the Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. May the Scout Oath and the Scout Law be your guide for tomorrow and onward.
I now call on Mr. Jim Namassey, Charter Organization Representative, to officially convene this Court of Honor.
By the authority vested in me by the Sam Houston Area Council and the National Council of Boy Scouts of America, I declare this Court of Honor to be convened. The Scouting movement constitutes one of the most wholesome and significant influences in the world today. Many successful well-known persons are Eagle Scouts. A former president of the United States, a film director whose films have won worldwide acclaim, most of the original astronauts, and several outstanding sports personalities. The Eagle candidate, whose efforts culminate this morning in the presentation of the Eagle Badge, has labored long to enter this brotherhood. He will assume even greater responsibilities to the ideals of honor and service. When he pledges himself on his sacred honor, he will be sealing his loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. Before we proceed, adult leaders Mr. John Pola and Mr. Tony Krause would like to reflect on Drew's experiences with Troop 9.
So good morning, everybody. Drew, you need to look at me. Okay. So, my name's Tony Krause. I've had the pleasure to be with Drew along much of his Boy Scouting career. And, we often get to see the best of your sons, and sometimes we see the worst of your sons. And Drew didn't let us down in any of those categories. The unfortunate thing is that, we get a lot of our material during these high adventures, right? And that's the problem. Drew was never on a high adventure, at least with me. And so I'm missing some material along the way, and the reason why Drew was never on a high adventure is he was always too young. So that's kind of like where I'd like to start, in that as long as I've been in the troop, which is close to 9 or 10 years, Drew is by far the youngest Eagle Scout. And that means something, because that's not an easy accomplishment to achieve, right? So let's start there with a round of applause. Exactly how old are you?
14.
14. Mr. DeMassey, do we ever have a 14-year-old equal in troop?
Not that I remember.
And so, not only in my period, but the entire length of Troop 9. So, you've done so because you've been engaged in the troop, right? You're always there at the fundraisers, you're at every meeting, at every camp out, and those are the things that have got you along there. So that's all the good stuff that you've demonstrated, right? You've been a cheerful servant. You've achieved the entrance into OA via your peers and stuff. So all great things, right? I'm sure it wasn't all your own doing, right, Dad? Tracy? John? Yeah. It wasn't all just you, was it? Probably not. It never is. So, yeah, we should start with the good and end with the good, and now let's get to the bad. Okay? We have to bring you down to earth, because today is a great ceremony, it's a great accomplishment, but there's been a few trip-ups along the way, right? And one of the things I remember, we talked about Drew's enthusiasm, and one of the ceremonies out at Lake Houston, I think we were conducting an OA ceremony. I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was an Aero Lights. It must have been a Brotherhood or something like that. And John, being an OA member, was there and helping John and I and a few others. And there's Drew, right? He's wanting to participate. At some point in time in the ceremony, we said, Drew, you have to go back with the other scouts. You remember that? Do you remember the temper tantrum? So that was my first experience with the bad side of Drew. I mean, he went storming off into the woods. It's already dark, without a light. I don't have my light. I can't even find him. And John says, this is the case where I'm not his dad, I'm a scoutmaster. You have to go deal with him, scoutmaster. So that took a while. I think you were even upset with me still the next morning. Have you forgiven me since that time? Okay. So one of the, and that just goes to show how much the boys mature over the years. You know, they really do grow, and so on and so forth. But the last story I'd like to talk about is one of magnetism. You know, each of us attract things, and I think all the Halvorsen men attract something. Don't you guys think so? Right? What was that? Flies. So let's start with young Luke. What do you guys think Luke attracts to? The first thing that came to my mind was girls, right? He's always flipping his hair, and looking pretty. He certainly has the magnetism for that, or will develop the magnetism. And then there's John, right? John has sucked all the patience out of all us other scout masters trying to go towards him. And he still has a black hole. So now we get to Drew. What do you guys think, Drew? What is attracted to Drew? What do you think, Brent?
It's about Iraq, what he happened.
Iraq, okay. Well, in my mind, it's splinters.
I was going for that anti-symbols.
Splinters, right? You know, the very first experience with the splinter, I think we were in southern Colorado. John, right?
Yep.
We're all busy getting the tent come up, and John came up to me and said, "Tony, you have to deal with Drew." And I'm thinking, what's the matter, right? We're at the trail, and it's a first day, and there's a splinter. I mean, the tiniest thing. I couldn't even see it. I'm taking my glasses off. I'm looking for this thing, and Drew is hyperventilating. He's hyperventilating. His eyes are about to roll back in his head because we cannot touch him to take this splinter off. And I mean, it's just a tiny one. Tiny as a splinter. Finally, I don't know if he lost consciousness or not, but we did get the splinter out, right? And then over the years, there's E-Rock, right? Many a cactus spine pulled out in the form of prickly pear. And so I had this history with Drew and splinters, right? So now we're at the Tin Roof Barbecue, right? I've got this history, Jeff, you remember. And, you know, Drew gets another splinter. And he's walking around literally like this. He cannot even function. And I'm thinking, little splinter, right? And the next day we see him at Scouts, or Monday we see him at Scouts again, right? And again, he's still walking around. I say, God's sakes, Drew, it's just a little splinter, right? And then Tracy, we saw Tracy in the store or something like that the other day, and she says, Tony, you're not going to believe they pulled a half a 2x4 out of Drew's back leg at the, remember? I mean, you probably have it on the mantle. It was like,
I have saved it.
We have saved it, yeah. So he definitely attracts splinters. And I'm sure you're going to attract greatness in the future, right? So we are very, very proud of you. Your family is proud of you. All of us Scouters are proud of your accomplishments, right? So great luck to you. We'll let Mr. Polar talk a little bit about things. Thank you.
So my history with Drew goes actually back to Weaglos, and the Halvorsen family transferred packs and joined Pack 926, and so Drew joined us, and he had a difficult time at the beginning fitting in, but just Drew's personality, he just fit right in and joined like he had been with the pack ever since the beginning. But one of the really funny things that I've come to know Drew about is that he has a second name, Jimmy. And I will never forget Drew's stories and whatnot, especially when we stop on the road and get lunch or whatever, and Jimmy comes up, and it's time to feed Jimmy. And so, Drew, I don't know if you want me to, but I'm always going to remember Drew as Jimmy. But anyway, not knowing Drew very much coming in, he's been back in PAC 926. It was just kind of the building of a relationship, not just with Drew, but with John Tracy and then Luke a little bit later on. And it's just grown ever since. And I just, my first experience with Troop 9 was in Colorado at Camp A. And the camping adventures there and whatnot. And then that Friday, everybody was all excited about going whitewater rafting. And there was just a lot of excitement. I was excited. Drew was excited. And so from that point on, after Camp A, I just saw something amazing about Drew and who he was going to become later on. And so he started settling in with Troop 9, and then John and I, we've been best buds ever since, the twins, since we've been called. We both spell our name Jon, so we kind of have a history with the troop with that. But as Tony alluded to earlier, Drew has, on many occasions, referred to John as Dad. Dad, I need this, or Dad, help me with that. And John would respond back, I'm not Dad, I'm Scoutmaster. And so it got to the point where we said, okay, we're going to trade sons at scouting events. So I would tend to the Halvorsens and he would tend to the Polas. And we kind of trade sons for scouts. And so I've kind of taken on that role too with Drew and also with Luke, but this is about Drew because this is his ceremony. And Luke will have his time later, I'm sure. But anyway, it's been neat to work with Drew over the years, to see him grow, to see his leadership really come out. He's taken on many responsibilities. He's at almost every Boy Scout thing that we do, fundraisers, troop meetings, campouts, and whatnot. He's there, and he's really grown, and he's really taken off. And I just see amazing things happening with you, Drew. Not just in the near term, but long term in your life. You've got some great, wonderful things. I'm not quite sure what they are yet, but you've got some great things in store for you in your future. And so congratulations on earning the Eagle Award, and best of luck to you in your future. I'm here for you. I can be your dad if you need me to. So anyway, you put in a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and so this day is for you, and this is very much well deserved. So congratulations.
Fine job, guys. I'll just add that since we started this troop back in 1993, Drew, you're the 53rd Eagle Scout. So all you guys, just keep that going. Well, the Honor Guard, Angel Mello and Peyton Archie, please escort before the Court of Honor Life Scout Drew Halvorsen, where he will be prepared to receive the Eagle Scout Award. All along the trail of achievement, your Scoutmasters have given you advice and encouragement. I call upon your Scoutmaster, Mr. Jeff Hemsing, to vouch for you tonight. Mr. Hemsing, before presenting your Scout the Eagle Award, we'd like you to have your assurance that Drew has been faithful in serving his troop, in giving leadership to its Scouts, in practicing the principles of the Scout Oath and Law, and in practicing the good turn in his daily life. Based upon these qualifications, Mr. Hemsing, is this Scout entitled to the honor the Eagle Scout badge represents?
Yes, sir, he is.
Eagle candidate Drew Halvorsen, what promise did you take when you became a tenderfoot scout?
The scout oath, sir.
Is there any reason why you should not renew that promise now?
There is not, sir.
Then I call on you to repeat the scout oath and rededicate yourself to the principles.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, to guide my country, to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
You have just recommitted yourself to the principles of the scout oath. You now have a new, more intense obligation to your church, your community, and your troop. The knowledge you've gained in all areas of scouting will better enable you to be prepared for the future and its challenges. The scout motto, be prepared, now takes on special meaning. Eagle candidate Drew Halvorsen, it's now my pleasure to introduce Eagle Scout Mr. Mark Mills to deliver to you the Eagle Charge.
Thank you, Mr. Massey. One eagle to another. I've waited a long time for this. Scouts of all nations make up one of the most wholesome and significant movements in this world's history. Drew, you have been judged by the Boy Scouts of America to be worthy of this honor. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. This award, as you will know, is one of honor and responsibility. You have become a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to your country, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother Scouts. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these good things depend, on the most part, on the quality of her citizens. Our country has had a great past. You can help make the future even greater. Drew Halvorsen, I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn obligation. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task that you do and every office that you hold to the highest level of service to God and your fellow man. So live and serve, so that those who know you will be inspired to finer living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their hearts, hands, skills, and abilities to the common good. Help to build America's future by continuing to set an example of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. Whatever others may do, you will leave behind you a record in which you will be justly proud. Eagle candidate Drew Halvorsen, I charge you to enter this Eagle Scout Brotherhood without holding any reservation and ever before you the ideals of honor and service. By the repetition of the Eagle Scout promise before your fellow members, you will become an Eagle Scout today. When you pledge yourself under sacred honor, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout with the same words that close the Declaration of Independence. Will all Eagle Scouts here today please stand and renew your Eagle Scout pledge as Drew Halvorsen joins our brotherhood. Scout sign. Repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance.
I reaffirm my allegiance
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
to the three promises of the scout oath.
I thoughtfully recognize
I thoughtfully recognize
and take upon myself
and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and responsibilities
of an Eagle Scout.
of an Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best
On my honor, I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example,
and my status and my influence
my status and my influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship in my troop,
and for better citizenship
in my community,
in my community,
and in my contacts with other people.
and in my contacts with other people.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
And to this I pledge my sacred honor.
Ready to get off the stage. Drew, your conduct along the trail has been excellent. You have been rededicated yourself to the principles of scouting. But one more thing is important, your future. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to all these other Scouts. You become an example in your community to all those before you. Remember that your actions are now a little bit more conspicuous, and people will expect more of you. To falter in your responsibility would reflect not only upon you, but onto your fellow Eagles and all of Scouting. The torch you carry is not only yours, but it is also ours.
Life Scout Drew, we are finally at the point you've been waiting for. Having confirmed all readiness for the reception of this award, it is now time to formally present this high badge of accomplishment. No words of this Court of Honor can do justice to the devotion and patient perseverance with which your Scoutmasters help you towards worthy manhood. Will Scoutmaster Mr. Jeff Hensing please step forward to preside over the presentation of the award?
Will the Honor Guard please escort Drew's father to his side? Eagle candidate Drew Halvorsen, your father has undoubtedly been a primary source of help in your scout work. He will help you carry the standards of your award to the highest peak of attainment. Since the very best is expected of an Eagle Scout in exemplary conduct, character, achievement, and leadership ability, I'm going to ask your father, who has stood by you so loyally, to pledge his willingness to continue to help you. Mr. Halvorsen, do you agree to continue to help Drew so that he may grow in character and those leadership qualities that an Eagle Scout should have?
I will.
Then please present to your son his Eagle Scout certificate. Drew, in return, please present your father with the Eagle Father's Pin. No one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice from your mother. She has undoubtedly been a great source of inspiration in your quest for the Eagle Award. I'm going to ask that she please rise and allow the Honor Guard to escort her to your side. Mrs. Halvorsen, please present Drew with his Eagle Award. Drew, in recognition of your mother's devotion, please present to her the Eagle Mother's Pin. Now I ask the Honor Guard to bring forward the little brother, Luke Halvorsen. Your brother will now present you with your Eagle Scout membership and the Eagle Scout slide. And now, it gives me great pleasure to present to you Troop 9's newest Eagle, Drew Halvorsen. You may be seated. We've heard a lot tonight about what it means to be an Eagle Scout. Now our honoree will have a chance to tell us a little bit about what becoming an Eagle Scout has meant for him.
Good morning. I'd like to thank you all for spending this special day with me. Today is an honor to receive my Eagle Scout Award. I am very thankful for my leaders, fellow scouts, and family who have helped me and encouraged me along my trail to Eagle. I am honored to have had the opportunity and privilege to be a part of the Boy Scouts of America and Troop 9. I will continue to remember my part in giving back as I grow older and share my experiences with other scouts. I began Cub Scouts in first grade along with Brandon East in our first Cub Scout Pack 56. As Weeblos, we both joined Pack 96. Thankfully, I am thankful to have had such great leaders and adults volunteer their time in helping me achieve my award today. I took time and dedication to earn my Eagle at 14. I am very focused on completing my merit badges as I started them. I have attended all winter camps and summer camps since joining Troop 9, which helped me achieve my goal at this age. I have had the privilege of having 3 Scoutmasters lead me during my time in Troop 9 and many assistant Scoutmasters helping me along the way. The most important assistant Scoutmaster who I'd like to give my first mentor pin to is my dad. Thank you for always having my best interest in your heart and guidance, even though I don't think I show enough how much I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your scouting memories with me and sharing in so many of my memories of scouting. I'd like to give my next 2 mentor pins to the leaders who have been with me during all my summer camps and given me many Scoutmaster conferences, Mr. Jeff Hempstein and Mr. Pola.
Have any mind.
My next mentor pin goes to Mr. Mays. He is unfortunately out of town this weekend. I'll present him his mentor pin at a later date. My final mentor pin I'd like to present today is Mr. Mark Mills, who was consistently there to help me when I was preparing for my Eagle Scout project, filling out application and workbook. You took every phone call I made to you, even when I thought it might be too late in the evening to call you. Thank you for giving back as a fellow Eagle Scout. I would like to thank every scout and leader who has participated in my ceremony today. Thank you, Pastor Chris, for praying over this ceremony, and thank you to all my family who came from Oregon. I would like my grandma to come up so I can present her with my grandparent mentor pin. Thank you for helping me throughout my scouting career with your encouragement. At this time, I'd like to give a very special thank you to Ms. McFarland for all her help with my approvals for council and submitting letters.
Can you come out? Yeah, there she goes.
Someone's gonna catch you if you fall.
That's so exciting.
Thank you.
Thanks, Drew. Good job.
Thank you.
I would like to say a word of encouragement to my fellow scouts. Stay focused on your goals, stay encouraged by your leaders, and always remember to keep the scout oath and law close to your heart. Thank you again for coming.
It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. Jeff McFarland, to present the United States of America flag and Texas flag, and many letters of congratulations.
In recognition of earning the Eagle Scout rank, Drew's received many letters of commendation, congratulations, and I'd like to share some of those with you. The flag of the United States of America. This is to certify that the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on March 8, 2018. At the request of the Honorable Ted Poe, Member of Congress, this flag was flown for Drew Halvorsen to celebrate the attainment of his Eagle Scout rank. The State of Texas House of Representatives. This certifies that Texas flag herewith presented to Andrew John Halvorsen, Eagle Scout, Troop 9, by Dan Huberty, State Representative, District 127, was flown at the capital of the sovereign state of Texas in honor of earning the rank of Eagle Scout. Eyewitness thereof and pursuant to the authority vested in me, I have hereto set my hand and seal of office at Austin, Texas, this the 13th day of April, 2018. Congratulations, you have demonstrated an exemplary commitment to personal excellence in achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, and we are delighted to join in commending you on this outstanding accomplishment. The Boy Scouts of America organization embodies the finest in our nation's traditional values, which makes this recognition of your efforts all the more special. Keep up the good work. With our best wishes, George Bush and Barbara Bush. Congratulations on earning the rank of Eagle Scout. Becoming an Eagle Scout is an outstanding achievement that reflects your hard work and dedication. Your accomplishment serves as an example of excellence and a source of pride in your community. With best wishes for continued success, George Bush. The State of Texas, Office of the Governor. To all to whom these prisons shall come, greetings. Know ye that this certificate is presented to Andrew John Halvorsen in honor and recognition of attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. In testimony thereof, I have hereunto signed my name and caused the seal of the State of Texas to be affixed at the City of Austin in the 7th day of March 2018. Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas. Dear Andrew, congratulations on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, the Boy Scouts' most prestigious award. Achieving this goal requires persistence, dedication, and vision. As you develop these qualities, you are preparing to lead your community and country. I trust that this investment will help you to be prepared for the challenges that life brings. I join your family and friends in saluting you on this significant accomplishment. Sincerely, John Cornyn, United States Senator.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Honorable Mayor of the City of Humble, Mr. Merles Aaron Sr., to read a proclamation.
Shake your hand first. I don't know if you were nervous, but I was all the time you were. You know, one of the neatest things that a politician can do is he can see young men who are striving to serve a community that's in great need of service. And so it's my pleasure, and I have found it, it's right here. I would like to read a proclamation from the City of Humble, thanking you for all of your efforts and what you've done, thanking your mom and your dad and their love for you and their standing beside you in each and every effort. Proclamation says this: to the citizens of Humble, Texas, to this area, to all of the areas that are represented, not only here, but all the ones that have a part of your life involvement. The Boy Scouts of America organization was founded in 1910 and first awarded the rank of Eagle Scout to Arthur R. Eldridge in 1912, 2 years later. The Boy Scouts of America served as a vital force in the development of young boys into men. 14 years old, that's awesome. I'm amazed because I've been here whenever some of the Eagle Scouts were just right on the verge of not being too old to receive this award, and that's a great accomplishment. Accomplished young men that not only achieve through what you've achieved through your own initiative,
hard work, dedication, and without the aid of and support of your family, friends, and troop members and scout leaders. And whereas the Boy Scouts is composed of many leaders of industry, government, and arts, with over 2 million having achieved the rank since its inception. And I was talking to a young man at the voting booth just a few minutes ago, well, about an hour ago now, Andrew, and he said that he is a Boy Scout, and he went for an interview, and what got him his position at one time was because on that resume it said Eagle Scout, and the other person did not. So that's a great accomplishment. It will serve you well for your whole life. Having have completed the requirements for and have been examined by the Eagle Scout Board of Reviews, Drew John Halvorsen of Boy Scout Troop 9 has attained Scouting's highest award, the rank of Eagle Scout. Now therefore, I, Merle Aaron, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Humble, do hereby proclaim May 5th, 2018 as Drew John Halvorsen Day in the city of Humble, and congratulate you, Drew, on this achievement, and wish you all the continued success that I know that you deserve.
Thank you.
I would like to say at this time, in witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and have caused the official seal of the city of Humble to be attached this 6th day of March 2018 as this day claimed after your name. Thank you for all you've accomplished.
Drew, I congratulate you as an Eagle Scout. The eagle soars high and seeks to rest only upon the lofty peaks. As an Eagle Scout, you too must soar high. You must not swerve from the path of duty. Your ideals must be lofty. You must strive to obtain that which is the highest and noblest in life. I hereby close this Eagle Court of Honor and present to you Eagle Scout Drew Halvorsen. I now call on Life Scout John Kennedy to lead us in the closing flag ceremony.
Color guard attention. Audience, please rise. Color guard advance. Color guard halt. Color guard prepare to retrieve the colors. Scout salute. Color guard retrieve the colors. Color guard reform. Color guard advance. Color guard halt. 2. Color guard dismissed. Audience, please be seated.
I now call on Pastor Chris Van Houten to give our benediction.
As a benediction, a final charge. Really what I love is that Scripture
are significant to this moment. First in 1 Timothy 4:12, it says, don't look upon you because you're young, but then it gives you a challenge. It says, set an example for others in the way that you love, the way that you have faith, in your speech, in your conduct, and in your purity. And so let those things be in front of you as you not feel inadequate ever of what you are charged with living out, and that is the gospel. It does not matter your age, but more so your character. And this world does not need more leaders. We need more leaders that have character and integrity like you, Drew. And so continue to do that well. In Luke chapter 12:48, it says that we have been given much, and those that are given much have great responsibility. When you are a leader, you have been given much authority, much responsibility. That is a great weight to carry. But what I love is it says the Lord is with us always, that He comes and takes that great weight and carries it if we trust in Him and we follow Him. And so with that, if you bow your heads and pray with me, we'll close. God, thank you. Thank you for Drew. Thank you for the leader that he is. Thank you for continuing to equip him and prepare him for the road ahead. As earning his Eagle Scout today, he is not done. This is not the end of the road, but just the beginning as to what you have in store for him. And so continue to lead him and guide him into all that you have. Continue to strengthen him and give him the courage and the boldness to lead well, to represent you well, and to serve those that he's called to serve. God, we give this to you. We pray for Drew and the blessings upon his life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Again, thank you all for coming. After a few pictures, please join us for the reception in the fellowship hall by exiting to the left half of the sanctuary. Thank you once again.